the main event. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns and The Rock. Whew. What a main event this was. All right, so the entrances were top notch, especially The Rock, who came out electrifying as always, had flames of the Brahma Bull, so this was awesome. I thought it was pretty funny that Corey Graves and Pat McAfee, they had their ones up in the air, but not Michael Cole. And Samantha Irvin, she did a tremendous job introducing everyone. I knew this whole entrance was going to take about 30 minutes, and The Rock looks tremendous at 51 years of age. The shape that he is in, man, that just goes to show you right there. That's got to be age goes. Take good care of yourself, and look at that, man. So yeah, Rock definitely looked phenomenal physically in shape, but was he in shape in terms of ring shape? So in terms of this match, man, it really reminded me of those old school Monday WWE Attitude Era brawls. That was the time frame that I grew up as a wrestling fan, and man, they were fighting all over the place. Roman and Cody were up all the way to the ramp and stage. The Rock and Seth were all through the audience, so those people definitely got their money's worth. Man, there was so many just great psychology. That's the thing, is that everybody in this match made every single thing mean something. There's a part where Roman gets busted open and his facial expressions and how he sells it, I thought was just fantastic and stuff, and he uses it to get angry. I thought The Rock, man, probably did one of his best looking sharpshooters ever in this match and stuff like that. I remember there was one time where Bret the Hitman Hart was like, he loves The Rock, but he would love to show The Rock how to do the sharpshooter, but it must have really paid off there. Man, there was parts where The Rock was taunting Mama Rose and took his belt out, basically keeping his promise. That was cool because you had Mama Rose and Cody Rhodes' father-in-law, who had, and congrats on him who had just beat, I think he beat leukemia, and he made it here to WrestleMania to see his son-in-law. So I thought that was fantastic. There's parts where Cody Rhodes, he gets hit in the spine. He goes for The Rock hits Cody Rhodes with the spine buster, goes for the people's elbow, but Cody reverses it with a Cody cutter off the middle rope, which I was like, yep, that's pretty much just him exposing the ridiculousness of the people's elbow because you gave him all that time to recover. But hey, if you grew up like me in the Attitude Era, we love The Rock's people's elbow. And yes, even if its psychology is ridiculous, yeah, it's fantastic. The Rock's so full of charisma and everything he does, and I noticed that Rock was still selling like $1 million. The Rock was still doing his old punching, shaking his legs and stuff, and just fantastic. So he hadn't missed a step in terms of that. At one point, Roman even tries to spear Cody, but Cody moves out of the way, and Roman accidentally hits The Rock, and the crowd became unglued. I was like, oh, because everyone knew what this meant. It meant, oh, is there going to be some dissension now between Rock and Roman? That was fantastic. Cody and Seth, then they come back in and hit stereo pedigrees, and they made it look like this was going to be where they beat them both, but they kick out. Rock and Roman did, and the match just had so much great stuff, even though it built up slow and then got more fast paced in the end. Like I said, these guys were masters at storytelling. They made everything they mean matter something. Every move, every kick, every punch, everything had purpose. Even The Rock was cheating, and the reason why he cheated is because he told the referee, and he was bullying the referee all through the match. He said, hey, you count out or you disqualify me, you're fired. And it's like, wow, once again, making sure everything makes sense. But I will admit, it would probably be like, well, Rock, if he wanted to, he could have probably just gone ahead and make this a tornado rules and had all whole bloodline come in there and said to the referee, oh, you're fired, right? But it makes sense, I guess. Rock still wanted to be somewhat fair as competitive, right? And then from one point, The Rock, he tries to do the Rock bottom to Cody Rhodes on the Spanish announce table, but Seth stops it, causing Cody to give Rock the Rock bottom from the Spanish announce table onto the American announce table. So that was like one of the biggest bumps The Rock took in the match. So, putting their working boots on, and I was saying when they got on the announce table, I'm like, yeah, these announce tables don't break as easy as the ones back in The Rock's prime and stuff like that. And then right after that, Roman gives Seth Rollins the spear through the guardrail, and that's a spot that I feel like we see a lot of nowadays, so it's not as special, but the way they timed it here just really added to it, and it was like chaos, and everybody was down. If prime Jim Ross was on commentary, he'd be like, by God, there's bodies everywhere and stuff like that. So man, and then in the end with Seth fully out of commission, Roman Reigns ends up hitting the spear on Cody Rhodes in the ring, and Roman, he tags in The Rock, and The Rock then gets in position for the Rock Bottom, and it's been so good to see The Rock do that pose again, and he hits it this time on Cody, and then nails the People's Elbow for the 1, 2, 3. That was just some of the notes I took down. There was a lot more into this match. This was fantastic. It was fun. But yeah, The Rock and Roman Reigns walk out victorious, and they almost did the same thing with as they're walking up the aisle with the newly Hall of Fame Paul Heyman. Great speech, by the way. Highly recommend you check it out if you haven't seen it. As they're walking up the aisle holding their respective titles, Roman obviously the Universal WWE Championship, and The Rock holding the People's Championship that was gifted to him during Muhammad Ali's introduction. It is here that they almost do shot for shot Cody Rhodes, basically looking just completely depressed, realizing that crap, now he has to wrestle under the Bloodline Rules, and this is exactly where I thought they were going, because now the deck is being stacked against Cody, and I figured it had to be this for the suspense, right? Because now it's going to be like the Avengers Endgame. I'm expecting tomorrow night or later tonight. Now it's because 2:41 a.m. Central Time here. I'm expecting that this is going to be mayhem. This is going to be one of the most chaotic main events we've ever seen in WWE history, and as someone who loved that 1998 Over the Edge main event with Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Dude Love, or The Rock versus Triple H at Backlash 2000, those are two of the most overbooked main event matches, and I love it because that had so much great storytelling and star power behind it, and I'm expecting us to see this, probably a John Cena cameo. I'm hoping for my all-time favorite, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the glass to shatter, and comes out to give The Rock one more stunner. Seeing my all-time two favorites get physical in the ring just one more time, man, that's gonna blow. Well, there's no roof to be blown off, but man, that's gonna make that whole stadium go boom for sure. So I'm expecting chaotic, but this had to be, because it will make Cody Rhodes' eventual win that much sweeter, because they want us all the way up to the last minute to see that it looks like all hope is lost for Cody Rhodes. And that's exactly what this main event delivered on. It was fantastic. It had me invested the whole time. Like I said, it's between this and the last two matches, man. Just fantastic. Just awesome. I also wanted to add on that The Rock at 51 years of age, I thought not only physically looked great in there, but also condition-wise looked great in there in the ring in terms of his performance. At 51 years of age, The Rock basically working within the limitations that come with age. He did pretty well, honestly. Stone Cold, when he made his comeback a couple of years ago at WrestleMania, he didn't break out all his signature moves, just like The Rock here didn't break out all his signature moves. Would have loved to see The Rock get in there and do those arm drags, those DDTs, the kick-ups and stuff like we used to see back in the day. But I do remember at WrestleMania 29, he had injured a lot of muscles in that match with John Cena, and he was doing some of that stuff, and you could tell that it looks like The Rock was definitely working as smart as possible here to accommodate not being in the ring for so long, as well as his age and everything. So yeah, when you consider all that, yeah, I thought The Rock looked phenomenal. Definitely, he still has that in-ring presence and charisma and storytelling to still hold his own in the match. And that's why the final boss is one of the all-time greats. He's my second favorite, right next to Stone Cold Steve Austin.